Wow, actually, man, 30 minutes. Oh man, I don't know if I clicked the wrong button or something, but I just made a video 25 to 30 minutes explaining exactly what I'm about to explain once again now. But yeah, I clicked it away or something and didn't save. So there we go. All right. So I came up with this. Yesterday, I was listening to Lyndall Warden again and Coach DiCarlo. So former student of Neville Goddard and just some, another coach, spiritual helper, whatever. They do their talks on YouTube, and I was on YouTube, so I checked that yesterday. Well, an hour and a half later, I pretty much, not instantly, so an hour and a half later, but almost instantly, right? I came across exactly what was entertaining in my mind, and they were talking. Lyndall and DiCarlo were talking about, seeing is believing or believing is seeing. Well, since I thought about that, like I said, it's still the month of Halloween, and I like that. That's my, that's my opinion. I like watching these movies and whatever, but you don't have to. But it's all about the example. So yes, yesterday I decided once again to go and watch a horror movie. Now, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned how many I got, but I made up a list because of a YouTuber who puts out top 10s of good horror movies, whatever the one he recommends. So yesterday he made a new video because I already watched a few horror movies in this week, so to speak, in my past video. I also gave examples of this. So I got about 40 horror movies I still haven't watched yet, and that's just a list I made on my phone, like notes, whatever, so I can choose which movie I want to see. So yesterday I decided to watch a movie. An hour and a half later, then, when I was aware of what Lyndall and DiCarlo were talking about the phrases "seeing is believing" or "believing is seeing." Well, so I thought about it for maybe a minute. They were talking about it could have been a few seconds, me putting my awareness on, those phrases, but because they were talking about it, I focused on it for maybe half a minute, maybe a minute, whatever, just contemplating those phrases, not canceling anything out, just contemplating, not saying that any of it is true or it isn't true, So I decided I'm going to watch a movie. So I went through my list, and there was a name that just got my attention. It was about, I looked at the trailer very quickly because I didn't really remember the movie. I put the name there, but I didn't remember what it was about anymore. So it was about a werewolf. Well, okay, W-E-R, were or whatever. So it was about, I got this streaming site or whatever that's always pretty much got every movie, every TV show, everything, just streaming. So I went there to watch a movie, and I typed in "were," so W-E-R. Well, it popped up, and I thought, okay, this is the movie I'm going to watch. So I clicked on it, but it just didn't start, and there were multiple different streaming services, so to speak, that offered a stream of this movie on that domain, that website. So I decided the movie, but it just didn't work, and there were all different movies, so to speak, on that site, just standing next to the one I was, different categories, and I just clicked on a few just to see if is the website or the domain itself right now not working, or is something wrong with the streaming service, whatever. But it wasn't, the buffering button, I had to push it once, click on it once, and the play button came, and I could watch the movie. So there wasn't anything, the website wasn't down, it was nothing to do with the certain streaming service, offering these movies, none of that. But I couldn't watch the movie I wanted to watch, right? So, I had to make a decision, because I still wanted to watch a horror movie. So what am I going to watch right now? So I don't care. I got more than 40 options, so to speak, and one of them doesn't work. Well, okay. So I chose LLC Hell House. Well, this is 4 or 5 different movies actually, all about with the same title. But then, for example, one is Hell House of LLC Hell House, whatever, Hell House LLC Origins. Well, so I thought, okay, let me let me watch that movie. Then I clicked on it or looked it up on Google and I said, oh damn, it's like 4 or 5, so I still have to make a decision which one of it is going to be. Well, I actually watched one of the first movies, so I decided, I mean, I could have done it in a different sense, but I decided like, okay, I'm just going to watch the second one. Now you can say, well, that's obvious, but it isn't. I decided to do that right there and then, but it isn't. Most people don't even care about that. I'm just trying to watch a movie, and the one that looks nice or has a nice thumbnail or whatever. I didn't look up any of the trailers, so Well, anyways, I was moved to watch the second made one. Subconsciously, as awareness itself, propelled to click on that movie. Well, and there we go. The movie obviously just worked because I was supposed to watch that, And why? Well, because I put my awareness on the phrases "seeing is believing" or "believing is seeing." And about 20-30 minutes into the movie, well, there it was. We're talking about ghosts or monsters, whatever. And he said, "Do you believe?" She said, "Well, I'm sorry, but seeing is believing. I first have to see, otherwise I can't believe." And there it was. I just thought about it an hour and a half ago. Seeing is believing or believing is seeing. And here they are, contemplating what is actually truth. He asked her, "Do you believe?" She said, "Well, seeing is believing, so I first have to see it." Okay. Well, I just thought about the phrase, and I don't know who came up with it, or which minds or whatever, which physical aspect of, finite little me, so to speak, aspect of God consciousness came up with this phrase ever. And I'm not, I didn't care about it. I didn't have to look on the internet or whatever to find out. I don't care. It's not about that, It's about those two phrases. Believing is seeing or seeing is believing. And now a lot of teachers, emphasize on these phrases because I think, most people in the spiritual community now understand that, well, it is actually believing and then you will see. Believing is seeing instead of seeing is believing. As you in the physical see something right now and only then it is true. Well, you are the observer itself, so everything you see here right now is changing, forever, in a constant state of change, but you are not. You are the silent observer, so to speak. You are aware of everything. Of yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your claims, your assumptions, everything comes after thoughts, so feelings, emotions, whatever. Your body, if you're healthy or you're not healthy at all, or whatever. It's all you being aware of, well, awareness itself portraying itself in, well, finite human little me. But even then, you are still pure awareness. Well, the thing is, like, I will keep on giving these kind of examples, good, bad, or indifferent, you decide. But it just proves that, well, manifestation is, at least can be pretty much, or like the different video I just recorded, it is instantaneous, also in a physical, but this was almost instantaneous. I entertained it in my mind, so to speak. I put my awareness on these phrases, and well, an hour and a half later, I subconsciously, as awareness itself, well, took action so that I had to, well, become aware of it again. In less than 2 hours. So that's how fast it can go. And you have to understand that I didn't cancel anything out, and that's why it all happened so fast. Because I could have just chosen that, well, this isn't true. The phrases they are talking about aren't even true, This isn't reality, at least not my reality. And there you go. You decided you chose, and you wouldn't have chose the movie I would have chosen. You maybe wouldn't even have made a decision to, watch a movie at all, because you weren't in alignment at all, so to speak, with what you were aware of. You understand what I mean? It's all a choice. But if you're not aware of being aware, then, well, it can become a little difficult, But anyways, I just wanted to emphasize on, if the creator of this phrase actually understood who he or she really is or was, as in pure awareness, pure consciousness, pure God, pure God actually, pure God consciousness, awareness, all that is, source energy, whatever. Well, then actually believing is seeing would be wrong, and seeing is believing would be wrong, because then, and that's how I, see it. If, the owner of the phrase came up with seeing is believing as he understood that the seer is the silent observer, so the true awareness, that doesn't change, and that everything that is here in a constant change, well, changes, then he or she would be true, you know. But I don't think that is the reason. Once again, I didn't look it up on internet or anything, but it doesn't seem like the person intended it to, you know, be interpreted like that. Because this is actually, you know, a very limiting, you know, a limitation, a limiting view, belief, whatever. Once again, you choose to believe it, you know, it doesn't have to be, and there you go. Seeing is believing only is true for me if you would come from the true observer, knowing, understand that you are God, awareness itself. And yes, everything comes after that. So then believing comes after the observer, you know, being aware of being awareness itself, and you just choose, you know, you decide, or like Helen Hetzel, you select, you know. But, you know, I don't think that phrase was meant to be interpreted like that. So then yes, believing is seeing, because, well, once again, you decide or choose the belief, you know. Because belief is just, is it true or not? And you decide to, you know, well, I'll say you declare it to be true or not, literally, you know. So you can say, well, my ex told me this, or my ex-girlfriend or boyfriend told me this, or like this mighty figure in my life told me this, and I trusted him or her so much that I just had to convince myself that it's true, or had to believe it. Like, do understand that if any person or anything in your world, like a situation, an experience, or just like a person, or just whatever, a commercial, or just a radio song, whatever, if these things, well, can change your mood, so to speak, can, well, rob you of your attention, your focus, aka your awareness in each moment, you know, then, well, yeah, obviously you're gonna believe, once again, you chose, you know, as awareness itself, but then unaware of being that, you know, you chose that to be true, you know. And I keep saying you know, because you do know. Deep down you do know, okay? But you have to, you know, wake up to who you forgot you actually are. Like most of us did, you know. That's the whole dream. You are the dreamer dreaming the dream. But you are the dream itself, actually, you know. Oh yeah. Instantly, practically, you know. Not instantly, but, well, the other one I was just talking about in a different video before this one, it was instantly, but I mean, come on, I kind of had to go through a few actions, you know, physical 3D actions to, well, manifest, so to speak. Once again, creation is finished, so you're not creating or manifesting anything. You're just simply, like Helen Hetzel did, selecting or choosing, deciding what you do or do not desire. In this case, what you do desire, because I desired or decided, but also desired at that moment to go and watch a horror movie, you know. You just understand that, yes, if I cancel it out, if for some reason after that minute of just me being aware of the phrases they were talking about in that video, if I cancel it out in what way, in one way or another, I wouldn't have taken the actions I took, so to speak, all naturally. I didn't, you know, as awareness, I was not aware of being in that, no, being in the time interval, so to speak, being part of the bridge of incidents itself, so to speak, because I had to take all these choices, I had to make all these choices, you know, for me to end up with a video or a movie out of the 44 whatever that I had, and then even this movie had 4 or 5 different movies of itself which I had to choose from. So that's like, I mean, I'm just giving this example because I understand how it works, but it's more like to put it in a linear time perspective. Like, subconsciously I chose out of, you know, I chose the one before, but it didn't work for some reason. Yeah, for what reason? Well, because I had to come across what I was aware of, you know, and this scene or that scene just wasn't in the Where movie. And if it is, because I'll also watch it one of these days, if it actually was, and I'll say that, but then it's still maybe even more amazing, because then I actually instantly clicked or decided, okay, this is the movie I'm going to watch, because somehow that concluded a scene of what I was thinking about like an hour and a half before that. But then it didn't work. So, well, source, whatever you actually, but I had to be led. Once again, it's all one, but yeah, God does the work, you know, like Yeshua or Jesus said, the Father in me does all the work, you know. I of myself can do nothing. I of myself do nothing. Jesus, I am awareness, only aware of what it desires, you know, puts this awareness on that. And then the God in you, the true everything, the creator of everything, not just this finite little me, but and understand you are one with that. So to speak, your awareness is aware of something right now, and then God's awareness, well, has to make you become aware of that exact same thing you are aware of in awareness, but then now as awareness in this physical 3D reality. Well, even if that other movie did have or conclude a clip with, which I highly doubt, but you never know, with the phrases "seeing is believing" or "believing is seeing," well, then somehow it didn't work. I still had to, I could also think like, well, it's not working. Well, F this, I'm not going to watch a movie anymore. It's not working. Blah blah blah. I do understand that I could have decided that right there and then, just because it didn't work. Like, this always happens to me. The streaming service doesn't work. It always works, but you get what I mean. So then again, I was still moved to click on a different movie, which then actually, to my surprise, because I forgot about it, I didn't, put behind it that it were like 5 or 6 movies, 4, 5 or 6, whatever. But even that, so it became a bigger gamble, so to speak. There's no gambling to this, it's just choosing, but you have to understand, like, there were more choices, Well, it didn't matter, because in about 20 or 30 minutes in there, it was exactly what I was thinking about, And I recorded it as well. Just since I've been talking about this, I mean, it's always happening to me, but it's like a feedback loop, because I keep on making videos about it, talking about it, then it happens. Just I can't run away from it anymore. So it's sad that I don't have somebody recording me all the. That's also crazy, 24/7. But then I would be able to like prove right there and then that it's actually consistently happening to me. But I'll find out a way to prove it as well still. But I made a video of that little clip because, even me, like, is it miraculous or insane or amazing? Like, well, that's you deciding that, you choose whatever label you give that neutral experience, in itself neutral experience. But I thought that was pretty crazy, Only like not even 2 hours later, and I'm already life is reflecting back to me what I just put my awareness on, And this goes for everything. There are no exceptions. Once again, everything in itself is neutral. So yes, this example may mean or seem nothing to you, but it might, seem a whole lot to you because you've never, so to speak, I highly doubt that once again, but I don't know who's going to view this video. I mean, yes, I put my awareness on it being people who, well, at least understand this a little bit or like open-minded enough to, take in what I say and at least, test it out, try it out, but then still, it's all in itself neutral. So I don't know who's going to watch this, and if you ever came across such a coincidental, so to speak, check my video on coincidence doesn't exist. But if you ever in your whole lifetime, even if you're 100 or like you might just be 15 years old right now, you're seeing this for the first time, then well, but think about it. Did you ever come across such a bizarre, so to speak, once again, just me putting a label on it, but situation, you put your awareness on something and it just pretty much instantly gets reflected back to you in one way or another, it's just you become aware of it as awareness again. So that might be through your senses or touch, whatever, an experience with a person, without a person, just a place in the world, whatever, but really get that through your mind. Like, that's not no coincidence, not no serendipity or synchronicity. It is all very synchronous, but that's once again just me giving a label to what it's actually just neutral in itself, just a change in the constant change, But anyways, I actually did it again. Like, this is only 20 minutes, but it's all good. I said what I wanted to say, and just understand that if you really understand who you really are, then I would say, well, it is seeing is believing, but only if you understand that seeing isn't your eyes, but the awareness behind all of these senses that, yes, does the seeing for you. That's the observer, and the observer chooses, and that's what he or she, whatever, individualized aspect of you, the viewer, individualized aspect of God, human consciousness, so to speak, but you're one with God, with all that is, with energy, source, whatever. But yeah, it's you deciding, it's you choosing, and it will get reflected back to you unless you cancel it out. And it might be now, 1 second later, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20, 30, 40 seconds later, a day later, 2 days later, 72 hours later, 3 days later, whatever, But my point is that if you really are a real consistent, going back to I am awareness, so being aware of being awareness, being conscious of being consciousness, then, well, you should have actually already, in the physicality, so to speak, come across it, And once again, you decide the time interval. But if you really understand that you didn't cancel anything out, and also not subconsciously as awareness itself, because most people, that's the only thing we do. We cancel it out. We convince ourselves that it's mumbo jumbo. It's just, airy fairy, or it's like at that moment, literally right there, you are placing an immense limitation on yourself, because you're right there, just denying understand, all denial is self-denial, like I just talked about. So you right there in that moment denied yourself to, that you can have this, or you can experience, be, do, or have whatever you do desire or do not desire. In every moment, in this eternal moment, you decide if either you can or cannot have something, or be or do something. It's all the same, It's all experiences in this finite reality, which we as infinite awareness are experiencing, But once again, it is your decision, And this is not an attack, I'm just trying to be, as honest with you as I can. And I've been guilty of this many times, plenty of times. But how fast do you catch yourself, and how, the more you just understand who you really are, the lesser this will happen, because you understand that you as awareness literally choose, decide, select, like Helen Hetzel, So if you cancel something out, that's you doing it, You put your awareness on the opposite of it being true, or you convince yourself or somebody else, Even if it's 20 or 30 years ago, that self-concept you build up from that one claim, or these different claims by different people, persons, events in the world, whatever, that, so to speak, wrote your script for you, you let them, you subconsciously, I understand, but you invited them, so to speak, to, take your attention, take your awareness from you. And you do have to understand that awareness creates in this physical 3D reality. Once again, you're just manifesting, as in you become visible of what you were just aware of in the mind as awareness itself, and then you as awareness itself will come across it once again as an experience duplicated here in a 3D reality. But you're not creating anything. Creation is finished. You are not manifesting anything. Manifestation is pretty much finished, actually. I mean, this is all the creation of the Creator Himself, which you are one with, but also you're in this little finite human me. I'm just trying to, give an example, but it's all one. Understand that right now, if you're by these two words, the seeming, separation of the, human and God consciousness. Understand that it's right now in this non-existent time, so to speak, just this eternal moment. Time does not exist. Clocks do. You are one with the Father, with God, with all that is. Matter of fact, this means you are it. But you're also watching this video as a human with a name and a body and everything you claimed about yourself to be true, which you are now living proof of. Well, then I get that, and that's why I put it in different phrases. But you have to understand that right now you are the Creator. You have the power, the Creator, the only one, is you. And it may seem like in a finite sense, but it isn't. It literally, you are literally one with it right now. But anyways, I just wanted to share this, and I had to do it all over because I'm at 25 minutes again now, so it's all good, and this just, it flows through me. I don't have to, it isn't hard at all for me to, teach this or speak about it, whatever. But, I just had to share this, and for everyone watching, I appreciate you a lot, and I hope to see you soon.